Welcome to Whitman Day. This is my first piece of the day, although this is like the middle of the show by now. And I have run across Don Varley, the town clerk, somebody who I went looking for last year, and because of the way I did things, I didn't get up here till after you left.
And we stayed till the end, so it was pretty late.
Yeah. Well, I got to ask you, though, because you're the town clerk.
Yep.
And a lot of people don't know half of what you folks actually do in that office.
No, they do not. Most of my office is run by Mass General Law, so it's not necessarily rules that I make up. I just have to follow them and design the procedure to carry out the laws in the proper way. So I would say about 90% of the town clerk's office is governed by state statutes, and then the other 10% or so is town government, so like town meeting and town elections and things like that. But other than that, pretty much everything we do, births, deaths, marriages, dog licensing, that's a state law. It's not my law. It's not Whitman's law. And a lot of people think, that we're the only town that does dog licensing, but that's not true. It's a state law. Reason for it, in a short note, is years ago with the rabies and things like that. It's a way to make sure that dogs don't run around the town and have rabies and bite your children, yourself, or your pets and things like that. So it's kind of a way, it's cheap enough. It's $10 for a neutered or spayed dog and $15 for a non-neutered or spayed dog. You have 2 months to pay for it. Otherwise, after that, it's a $25 late fee on top of the original fee.
Yeah, and that's, registering or licensing the dogs is a good way to keep track of their rabies vaccinations, too, because they have to have a vaccination certificate, right?
Correct. They have to have a vaccination certificate in order for us to license them. And each house is allowed to have 3 dogs. After that, they have to get a kennel license and go through the whole Board of Appeals process for that. So that's one of the main things that most people know that we do. Another thing that we do is we do voter registration. Every day, 24 hours a day, there's a portal on the Secretary of Commonwealth's website that you can register to vote online, check your status, many different things. Now, when you go to the registry, this is an important piece, when you go to the Registry of Motor Vehicles, it's automatic voter registration. It's called AVR. It was just passed, and what happens is you don't get to opt out of registering to vote, and you don't get to opt in. The only way, so we get all the everybody who goes to the registry, they might be duplicates, they may not be duplicates. You don't have a choice of not registering to vote unless you select that you're not a citizen, and then they don't register you. Otherwise, everybody gets registered to vote through the RMV, which has increased the work in my office tremendously. Everybody's registering to vote again and again, and duplicates. Just because it's a duplicate doesn't mean that it's less work for us. It's probably more work for us and things like that. So voting is a huge part. All the early voting that's going on. Now it's for every election. So that's huge. On early voting, every day we have to process the ballots to make sure that somebody doesn't early vote in a different community and things like that. So early voting has been a huge impact, not only on my office, but on every town clerk around the area. There's many, many town clerks who have decided to retire early or just seek another field because of the pressure that the state has put on us for voting.
Okay. Now, what are some of the other things that the town clerk does besides, the registering of births, deaths, marriages, et cetera, and the voting?
So one of the other important things is we are the keeper of the time for the town. So everything does have a time. When you file Board of Appeals, you want to add an addition onto your home or anything like that. As soon as it hits our office, we daytime it and stamp it in, and the clock starts ticking. And that happens pretty much with most legal documents. They hit my office, and that's when the clock starts ticking. As far as how much time they have, it depends on what they're filing. Special permits, variances, just anything that they file, lawsuits and things like that. The town has only so much time to act on everything. So we are we're the timekeeper. We're also the record keeper. So, and that's not only is it for convenience, for transparency, and for the people to just go to one location instead of running around, coming to our office just to get all, the finance committee minutes and stuff like that. But it's also the history of the town. It's stuff that gets put in books and it's archived. Everybody's into computers, and computers do make life a whole lot easier. But my office, we rely on computers to make our lives easier, but everything has to go in the record books in pen and ink. And I always laugh because people want to write in blue ink so they can see that it's their name. It's black ink only in my office. I see a blue pen, I throw it away, and I'm going to give you an example of that. When you go to fill out your passport application, the very first thing it says is black ink only. There's a reason for that. I have records that go back to Whitman, when they say when Whitman became Whitman, it was March 13th, 1875. And I still have those records handwritten. And then I tell people, get a floppy disk from 1999 with town meeting on it, and you find a computer that would read it and see what happened. So it's the printed ink, and that is forever. The public records, that's forever. My vault, we have everything that goes back to 1875, and we have a sub-index so that if you want to find out about the pool, you don't have to go through chapters and chapters and chapters of volumes of books. We have a sub-index. You can go to pool, and it'll tell you right where to go to see how the town voted on different things.
Yeah, that hard copy is very important for proving things later on sometimes.
It definitely is. We also we keep the road books. Every sign, if they put up a stop sign, we keep track of that. I mean, we just do so many things that it's, sometimes I forget. I'm like, oh yeah, we do that, and we do this, and so and being in the supervisory position, sometimes you forget about things, and then I go out and work the counter. We do business certificates, marriage intentions. That's an important thing. People need to get married. They come to our office, they file their intention, and then they have to wait 3 days before they can get married, and then there's a 60-day period that they have to get married in. I'm also a JP, so I can marry people. It's a convenience. I'm a commissioner to qualify, along with my assistant Michael, and we swear in other people. That could be from a notary to a justice of the peace to what's the other one? Like trustees and stuff like that. Just different things. People that need to get sworn in for governmental entities, they have to come in front of 2 commissioners. So I'm one of those as well. And
that was nice of Michael to feed you that, wasn't it?
Yes, it was very nice. Thank you, Michael. He knew I was thinking about it. But there's a lot of things that you'd be surprised at what we have to swear in and stuff like that. But
all the committee members for town committees too.
Yep, we swear those in every June is when they do their appointments, and then at elections they have to come in, and we keep track of ethics. We keep track of the open meeting law. The doctors, when new doctors come into town, they have to file with us. So all town clerks have the doctor's license numbers and all that stuff, and they have to pay. It's a $20 fee. They have to pay to register the doctors in their communities. I mean, that's something that a lot of people don't know that the town clerk does, and you have to kind of be you have to watch, because people don't come up to you and they don't necessarily know, like raffle and bazaars. If I see a flyer, hey, we're having a raffle here for some kind of fund, and they can't do them. They have to be a nonprofit organization in effect for 2 years. I mean, there's so many laws, and people sometimes think that I'm mean doing that, but it's the laws of the state. So sometimes my job can be difficult in that way, because people think, simply like keeper of the seal. So I'm responsible for the town seal, and the reason is it's like a corporate seal. So when the town buys a vehicle, a police car or something like that, the company would need a certified copy of the vote from the town, and I use that town seal as like a signature of the town. So when you use the town in the seal in other ways, it kind of makes the town seal not as authentic, and to me it's a very serious thing. I think the town seal should only be used for that type of stuff. So, like I said, who knew that, right? Who knew the town clerk was responsible for a seal? But that goes way back. The last time this town seal was done over was by Millie McKenna, and I believe it was like in 1976 she drew it, and it has to go through a process. It goes through the state, and it gets described. It's like a legal description of it and things like that. It's not just drawing a seal or whatever. So even things like that, coming here, reaching out to the public. I love having groups come in, Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts. I bring the kids in. I want the kids to come in. I have a fish tank in my office, as minimal as that is, but they love my fish tank. I take them into my vault, and we shut off the lights, and it's so dark, and the boys end up punching each other, and the girls end up screaming when we do that. So it's kind of funny, but my doors are always open to everybody, to adults that want to see things, to kids that want to see things, and
well, See, the town clerk does an awful lot of stuff, and we probably have only just about scratched the surface, too.
Probably so, yes.
Yeah, we'll have to see if we can continue this conversation sometime when we have a lot of time to spare.
Correct.
So thank you so much, Don,
Thank
for
you.
filling me in for the little bit that you have done so far.
Thank you, and I thank you for allowing me the time. I love coming down to Whitman Day. I think this is great. We're licensing dogs here, believe it or not. We have a wireless hotspot. We've, printing things out. We have our laptop going. We can register you to vote. We can do so many things electronically right now. As I said, computers are great in a lot of ways. I have tons of flyers. We're doing rock painting for the kids, and they get to come back, and if they don't pick up their rocks, I'm going to leave them around. So if you see some rocks around the park or town hall, take one.
Take one, leave one, like they say, right?
Sure. Take one, leave one. That's fine.
Okay, thank you so much, Don. Well, we're here underneath the Ned Kirby Memorial American Elm Tree with the Historic Commission and Commission Chair Molly Schnabel, and we just wanted to get a little bit of a statement from you as to what the Historic Commission is all about.
Well, the Historic Commission is a board in the town. It's part of the government of the town, and we preserve the history and document the history of the town, and there is a very rich history in Whitman. I'm new to Whitman, but I'm not new to the history of Old Abington because I lived in Rockland before. But here you see one of the things that we do is that we try to register the oldest houses in town. We try to preserve them. We try to get things onto the National Trust. If we're trying to work on anti-demolition of historic sites and the preservation of those sites, we aren't the group that, like the Society, there's a difference between the Society and the Commission. And the Society would preserve, like, let's say, these are Paul Revere's glasses, where we might say, yes, they are Paul Revere's glasses, but the Society would keep the glasses, but we would be the ones who would document it. And that's what we are about. And we hope to have more of the things that go on in the town when they ask about the history of the town, that we can come forward with the direct information that verifies things. We verify all kinds of things like this park, the windows in the church, the town hall. I just did a project on the bricks in the town hall, so that, where did those bricks come from and things like that.
I remember hearing a little bit about that a while ago, yeah, because there were some people who were saying, well, they couldn't have come from here because and this, that, and the other, and somebody else said, well, yes, they did come from here because we have a little paper here.
They came from, the company was the Wallace Company, and you can find it in the Dyer Library in Abington. But the bricks were made up on Beach Hill in the what was now the McCarthy Farm, which is open space in Rockland, and it goes right down into Rye Hill. So that's where they came from.
Yeah, you said Beach Hill, and I remember because I've been over that street many times.
And that street actually, if you look at the old Hobart books and the old town meeting books, they did not want to put the road over that hill because they thought it was way too steep and there was way too much water up there. And looking at, I did research for the Open Space Committee, 81 streams up there, 81 documented streams, and there are 3 wells that have been tested for years, twice a year. So there's water up there, and they used to have the big water tanks up on the top of the hill. So, but that, they talk about masts for ships, and of course the rumor is that the Constitution's mast came from there, but I don't know that that's true. We would have to try to verify that, but they did have masts that came down, and they had sloughs that went down, and there was a trolley car that went up through the middle of it, and then you have pre-revolutionary soldiers that lived in Old Abington, which we were part of. But then when you get to the Civil War, it's hard to beat Whitman for the Civil War because of Colonel Allen. And he lived on Temple Street, and the fact that he was smart enough to make sure that his men had rules and regulations, and he knew that Lincoln was looking like he was going to, something would happen, like Pearl Harbor happened, and Fort Sumter was going to happen. So he had his men ready to go. And they were the first ones in the country to become Union soldiers.
And we have there is a marker up on Washington Street about that.
Right. And where he lived?
Well, it was all Abington at that time, so I can just say Abington and be right?
No, he lived at 116 Temple Street, Whitman, but it was Abington then, yeah. And if you go by that house, it's kind of a nondescript house, but all this history comes out of it, and there's a nice little stone wall in front of it, which was the foundation to his barn.
Yeah. Well, I have been working on a project about that marker, and sometimes these historical projects I get going on in my head, they take a long time to do the research.
Oh, yeah.
I've been working on the one for the Hobart Bell, and I had a couple of veerings off because there was some wrong information that I got, and I had to go back 2 or 3 steps. And
that's always the fun of doing historic research, and I mean that facetiously, because you get to the point where you think, okay, I've got it. I know exactly what this is, and then all of a sudden something happens, and you're like, oh, that's not what happened. And then you have to go back and you have to start all over again. So
the history detectives, right?
Exactly. But it's fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's like when people talk about those windows, there's some, the windows are they Tiffany or are they Lafarge? Is Lafarge better than Tiffany? It might be. So, trying to get everything accurately done is what we do. And it's not necessarily that we're trying to hold on to the item. We're trying to give you the information to preserve that item and to preserve the history of it. That's what we do.
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Molly. It's been a joy talking to you. And it's time now to move on to something else.
Well, that's a real nice jacket. Looks like it cost you $2. And that car you're driving, hey, does that belong to you? Well, you don't look familiar, are you new in town? Here's a local boy who wants to show you around. How do? Well, where'd you get that accent? It matches your cowboy boots. And those Lone Star boys must be lonesome and go so blue. We're 1,000 miles from the Texas line. If you've no objection, girl, tonight you're mine. How do? I've been to Paris, I've been to Dallas too, but I didn't see no one there looking half as good as you. So if you ain't in a hurry, honey, just sit tight. I'm sort of in the mood to speak some French tonight. Hey, boo.
Another one of the town departments that's here for Whitman Day here in the park is the library department. And David Aronson is the executive in charge of the library. And David, what's been going on with the library these days?
Well, we actually are getting ready for our summer reading program, which will kick off on Wednesday. It's 5 to 7 on Wednesday. We have Mario coming from 5:30 to 6:30. We'll have games and prizes and all kinds of fun things going on. So we hope to see all of you there.
Okay, well, since we're not live, we got to just, hopefully they will have already been there before we come. What else have we got coming up this summer?
We have all kinds of special programs. In addition to our weekly story times, we have craft programs and special events of different types. So yeah, come on by and see what we have.
What have you got for the adults for the summer?
So one of our summer reading categories is for adults, and adults who participate in the program can be entered to win a range of prizes to local retailers.
Now, is this like something that's happened in the past where everybody reads the same book, or is this people decide what they want to read and then just log it down?
No, people can choose whatever they want to read. They just keep track of their reading on a storyboard and bring it to us, and then we'll give them a ticket and they can try their hand at the raffle.
Keep reading, it's good for you. Anything else happening this summer, or maybe shall we look into the fall now?
Well, as we look forward to the fall, we actually have a full slate of weekend programs for September, including a visit from the observatory at Bridgewater State University and a number of other programs. So, by all means, come on by.
Okay. Now, how do people find out what's on the calendar? You can give me the URL for the website?
Our calendar is on our website. You can just look up Whitman Public Library and it comes right up. Look for our event calendar and you can see everything that we've got going on. We also have a newsletter, so if you stop by and sign up, we can have things sent to you directly.
See, you can get news about the library from all different kinds of ways. And one of the best ways that I've found is to actually go there.
Yes, we really appreciate seeing people come to the library and seeing and explaining all the things that we have to offer. So, and all the things that you can get free with your library card.
Because the library is not just about books anymore. There are all kinds of other things that people can borrow when they're in there, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, in addition to DVDs and audio and whatnot, we have all kinds of electronic resources. You can download ebooks, e-audiobooks. You can stream movies with Canopy. I mean, there's just all kinds of things that we can offer you, and it's all free.
And not to mention cake tins and things like that, right?
Yes, we actually just condensed our collection of cake tins, but yes, we do have a number of other things in our library of things. So,
library of things. Remember that it's a wide open category.
Yes.
And as I recall, you can even borrow Wi-Fi hotspots.
Yes, you can. We have Wi-Fi hotspots, and in the next couple of months, we're hoping to roll out a program to loan Chromebooks. So come by and check it out. And yeah,
Chromebooks are fun. I've had to use them once or twice, and they're just very interesting.
Yeah, it's a great way to if you need to apply for a job or anything else that you need to do, and you need something to or do some Zoom calls. It's an easy way to get all that work done. So.
And if you don't know how to do it, ask your kids, because they're all using Chromebooks in school now, right?
Indeed, or we can show you.
Yes. Okay, thank you so much, David.
Thank you.
We're now going to talk to Stephanie Young and find out in a little bit more detail what the children are doing this summer. So, Stephanie, we know that the reading program is about ready to start. What is that going to involve?
So we're doing the same game board format that we've done the past few years. We have different challenges specific to each age group. So for the young ones, the age 0 to 3, it's concentrated on sensory learning. And then ages 4 to 7 have to learn some facts. And ages 8 to 11 has to learn more facts. And there's also a lot of fun challenges in there, like going on a color hunt, building a reading fort. Each challenge has 4 parts. When they finish all 4 parts, they can come get a prize, and there are 6 challenges total.
If I said I were 11, would you believe me and let me into the program?
We do have a teen program for ages 11 through 17, and also an adult program for 18 and up. And those are that same fun game board format, so even the adults get to look at the stars and find constellations.
Oh, okay. That's better. Of course, I'm still, 11 at heart, but that's another story. Okay, what else have we got going with the children this summer?
So we have everything is on this trifold flyer, including the museum passes. If you're doing any day trips, these are discount passes that can be reserved through the library. We have our regular story times all year round, Mondays and Thursdays at 11 o'clock, and those are drop-in. We also have drop-in crafts on Tuesdays, 12 to 3. And some special events, crafts for school-age kids. Mad Science is coming and doing a show about air pressure and flight. And we have alien balloon twisting, where you can actually make your own alien balloon.
Now tell me, is the Museum of Fine Arts part of this museum pass thing?
Yes, there is a discount. Each museum sets its own rules for the discount as far as whether it's a free admission or a discounted admission, how many people it allows. And we just added the Heritage Gardens in Sandwich as our newest museum pass.
Because I know that the MFA does have some program they're doing where Massachusetts residents can get into the library for free.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, that's what happens when you watch as much television late at night as I do. Okay, how about going into the fall? What's happening for the children coming up in the fall?
So we'll keep our regular storytime schedule, and we usually do 1 or 2 events for the school-age kids, and we're hoping to add more teen events. And we'll be doing 1 or 2 Saturday events each month for kids.
Okay, thank you, Stephanie. That was great. Now people know what's happening at the library for adults, children, and almost anything anybody wants to get from the library. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah. And 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just got up here.
We're gonna wing it here. We'll do a song for the kids, okay? Because we got a couple of kids here, and never too late, never too early to start cultivating your fan base. So you got to do whatever the song tells you to do, okay? Key of D. I'm in the mood for dancing. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for dancing. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for dancing, dancing along with you. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that today. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that. I'm in the mood for clapping. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for clapping. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for clapping, clapping along with you. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that today. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that. I'm in the mood for jumping. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for jumping. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for jumping. Jumping along with you. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that today. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that. I'm in the mood for dancing. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for dancing. Hey, how about you? I'm in the mood for dancing. Dancing along with you. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that today. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood for that today. Hey, hey, what do you say? I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood. I'm in the mood for that. Now we're going to give Abe a break. Now he really needs you.
The Whitman Food Pantry is something that most people tend to know is there, but they don't know very much about it. And right now we're talking with
Rick Clark,
Rick Clark, President
of St. Vincent de Paul, the food pantry.
Okay, and tell me a little bit about how the Whitman Food Pantry gets started.
Well, now I've only been involved for about 4 years, so I don't know. I mean, St. Vincent de Paul was way back when, I don't even know what year it was, but it was in France, and he started the first St. Vincent de Paul, and they started taking food and rent money or whatever to people that needed it. So then he came to America at one point in time and started chapters in America, and then it just flourished from there.
Oh, okay. So now tell me, how does it work here in Whitman?
Well, if you are in need for food or assistance, you contact the Whitman Food Pantry and leave a message typically on a phone, and then we have people that monitor the phones, and we get back to you and talk to you and see, what are your needs, what can we do to help you, and if we can do anything. I mean, minimally we can give food because we are a food pantry. So if you're having problems with getting food, we give you you pick out what you want and we send it to you.
Okay. Now, how do people support this?
We get donations from the church and individuals that send in memory checks if somebody passes, and then just fundraisers like this where people are generous. I mean, we're doing everything free today, but if you make a donation, it helps out the food pantry, which actually helps out other people.
Okay. Do you have any kind of corporate sponsorships?
No, not really. It's all kind of local. A lot of the schools. As a matter of fact, I think they have a bake sale today, and they are going to give the donation to the food pantry and whatever they make. So
it's a real grassroots type of initiative.
Pretty much. I mean, it's people on the ground and people that are willing to help. I mean, there are some businesses that do give us money. I couldn't tell you what that amount is, but they do donate. There are generous people in this town. And others. You don't have to be from Whitman to donate. You can be from anywhere. If you used to live in Whitman and now you live in Florida and you want to make a donation, just mail a check to the pantry, and we're very happy with whatever we get.
Okay. Now, how can people who would like to make donations get a hold of you?
You could call the food pantry, and off the top of my head, I'm not sure the number. But you call the food pantry, and there's a connection between the Whitman Board of Health to the food pantry if they go to the Whitman Board of Health website. And then we are in the process of getting our own website going so that it'll be easier to get in touch.
And you did say for people who are in need, all they need to do is call the food pantry number.
Yes.
Which we will get on a graphic. We will be down here somewhere.
Okay,
Because
awesome.
we'll get that information and put it on there.
Okay, awesome.
And I just want to say thank you because you've been doing a lot of good work for the people in this community.
All of us. It's a team. It's not just one person. There's 20, 30 volunteers and associates that work every day, and they do a great job. Yeah. Great job.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. All right.
Well, we're here in Scout Country right now because we have the town's 2 Cub Scout packs side by side over here. So we're going to start off talking with Matt Harden, who happens to be the Cub Master for Pack 59.
Mm-hmm.
And you've just recently finished your regular meetings for the season.
Yes, we did. Yep, we have a lot of fun summer stuff going on that we're doing with PAC 22. So we have a lot of fun events coming up for the kids over the next couple months, and then we'll be restarting again in September.
What time are you going to be? Do you know what date you're going to be restarting in September?
We will have a recruiting event. It's usually the second Saturday of September. We'll be over by the police station and welcoming new scouts and trying to get some new families involved. And then we'll have our first official kickoff meeting usually the third week of September. And then we're looking at doing some camping in October. So.
Okay. Now, what is your regular meeting schedule run like?
We meet every Friday at the First Congregational Church, and PAC 22 meets on Thursdays.
Yes. And we can't miss that First Congregational Church with that big white building there right on the corner of High Street.
Yes, it's a beautiful place. We feel very fortunate to meet there.
High Street. I got the wrong street. It's on the corner of... No, I've forgotten what corner
Main
it's
Street,
on.
isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's on Main Street, but I was thinking about the side street there.
Oh,
And
gotcha.
I've just lost what it is. But that's all right. You know it's on Main Street. You know it's across from School Street.
Yes.
So that'll get people there.
Absolutely.
Okay. You have any kind of a website people can check you guys out on?
We are, if you go to beascout.org, you can search for Whitman, and our group will come right up on there.
Okay. Okay, thanks, Matt.
Absolutely.
Now we're going to go around and turn and take a little peek with PAC 22. We have their assistant cubmaster, Rich.
Yep.
This is what we wanted to do.
Okay.
We caught you busy, didn't we?
I know. I was trying to pack up because there's a storm coming in.
Yeah. So, PAC 22.
Yes.
When is your kickoff for the new fall season start off?
The new fall season starts the second week in September. We'll have a recruiting event at the police station, and then we start regular den meetings the third week of September.
And you meet every Thursday night at the...
Every Thursday night, 6:30 at the Spellman Center at the Holy Ghost Parish.
Okay. You have any special events coming up that you've got planned already?
We do. Next Thursday night, we have a movie night. We get to see the new release movie a day early. So this year we're seeing the Pixar movie Elemental a day early.
Whoa.
Yes. It's usually a really well-attended event. It's at the East Bridgewater Cinemas.
You have anything that's scheduled like after the start of the season again?
Like in this more summer activities?
Yeah, more towards the fall.
We have a camp out scheduled not Columbus Day weekend, the following weekend in October. We go to Camp Sayre in Milton. And they have open camp, which means they have all these stations like archery, BB gun shooting, axe throwing, that we all get access to when we camp over there.
We've seen some of that happen just with the 22s, haven't we?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, now can somebody contact you if they're interested?
We do have a Facebook page. You can search for us on Facebook. Just type in Whitman PAC 22. And we also have a QR code that would be on our Facebook page, too, that you can access.
Okay, terrific. Thanks, Rich. And have a good summer.
Thank you very much. Nice talking to you.
Okay. We're here now with Mike Ganshert. And since graduation just happened, I figured what better time to find out how Dollars for Scholars came out at the end of things this year.
Well, we had a record-breaking year.
You usually do.
We do. Each year seems to get a little bit better and a little bit better.
Which is the point of it all, too.
Exactly. But as we're finally past COVID, we're able to do a lot more fundraising this year, which allowed us to award $169,246 to 128 applicants. So we were very happy about the number of applicants we had and the amount of dollars that we were able to give out.
Talk about spreading the wealth.
Yeah, we the smallest scholarship was $400. The largest one was $4,700. So we kind of go from high to low or low to high, however you want to look at it.
How many different types of institutions are getting money from this through the scholarships?
Well, the money the students apply, and when they get their scholarship, they can claim it in the spring after they've completed the first semester. So we can go to whatever colleges the checks get made out to the students' colleges. So I'm going to guess there were probably about 128 students and probably about 100 different colleges that will receive checks on behalf of the student.
anything other than colleges, like trade schools or anything like that also will be seeing some of this?
At this point, no, not with Dollars for Scholars. The school has a few different scholarships set up for trade schools, people that are going into the military, people that need that kind of assistance.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Mike. And now, when is the kickoff for next year?
Well, our first fundraiser is probably going to be in August this year. We're starting a little earlier so we can get a little head start on things. So be looking for us. And we have an electronic recycling day in September.
Okay, now just give people that website so they can go and find out stuff.
Sure, it's www.whitmanandhanson.dollarsforscholars.org.
Okay, thanks so much, Mike.
Thank you.
Remember that URL, because I can't.
Was that about that?